see what's being done and to appreciate the work of these people, in the sport of athletics.
During your time, you've had 5 Olympic champions, each one different. What makes a secret of an Olympic champion? Could I ask you that?
But I suppose there's no secret. There's a lot of hard work, a lot of commitment, a lot of focus involved. I was a little bit lucky when I went to Kenya. I kind of landed on my feet. I went to an area of the country where there was an athletic talent and where kids were very enthusiastic about becoming champions. There were role models, people who had done before them. And also I think it was great for me to get involved with the local people in terms of sport, because with young people it's a great access route to their lifestyles and to have an impact on their lives. And I suppose down to the years, my first Olympic champion came in 1988 after 12 years hard work. Peter Rowe in Seoul. He kind of established me as a coach in terms of I must be doing something right. Before that, Kenya had a lot of hiccups in terms of boycotts and in terms of maybe underperforming. But after that, I kind of got a certain level of confidence in my coaching and in the identification of talent. And I suppose my last Olympian, David Rudisha, is perhaps the best known because of what he did in London that night, breaking the world record, and of course he's such a great person for the sport, so outgoing and so confident in his personality. And I think that it's great that I landed, as I said, on my feet with such people.
The hard question comes in when you're a coach of such talented athletes, is it to kind of direct them in a certain way, or to improve their coaching and their natural ability?
I think one of the things that I did out in our little village there was I created a culture of athletics, so to speak. Now, of course, arguably you might say the same thing about Brian Cody in Kilkenny, as he created a culture of hurling. In the sense that you get your talent, but talent alone is not enough. I mean, we've lots of talented people. We've seen that in various sports across the board. There's a lot of waste of talent. So it's got to do with nurturing talent, keeping them on board, focusing them on dreams, on ideals that they might have in their life. Also, I think it's got to do with how many young people do you have who are in there for the long haul. They're going through disappointments, they're going through injuries, they're going through problems and difficulties. So who's really determined enough to work their way through that? You're also part of that as the coach. You're also part of their whole approach to life, even in a sense. It's a lifestyle. And I'm sure the Cork ladies will tell us that in terms of football and hurling. It's a way that you can tap into that. So I'm really a person who has to try. You're not only just a technical person who goes out and does the training on the field and puts them through their drills and their training sessions. You're somebody that becomes part of their life and somebody whom they look up to. And of course, I kind of have a system in place eventually where now people believe that if I go there, if I join that system, my chances of success are improved.
Okay.
Good. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Listen.
In Ireland, would you have any pearls of wisdom to pass on?
Well, I've been around Ireland quite a bit, and in Cork we've done a few talks to different groups over the last few weeks. One of the great things I see, first of all, is we have a tremendous number of young people now running. Now, maybe that's been the way it is for a long time, but I really became aware firsthand by being with them and seeing them training. The question might be for Irish athletics or Irish sports, particularly in the side of running, is that there is something we need to kind of just, you're so close, you have the youngsters training, you have great ambition, you have great interest in it, and you have a tremendous number of coaches, showing, and I've been with Athletics Ireland in recent weeks, also in Athlone for athletics coaching. We've a great number of enthusiastic coaches, but I think that to get the young people to just that little transition into moving up along the ranks and becoming elite seniors. Now, one thing I talked about a little bit in that loan too was that we shouldn't be over competitive oriented with our young people. We enter them a lot in competitions, and of course athletics is the ideal in terms of young people can see what races they win and what time they do. It's so easy to measure athletics compared to other sports. Whether you're a good footballer or hurler or soccer player can be a matter of opinion, very often. But athletics is a defining sport. What's his time for the 1500 meters? What's your time for the half marathon? Or did you win? You don't need to be an expert to see who wins and who loses. So maybe we need to maybe think a little bit more developmental in our approach. And over the years I learned that in Kenya. When you're a young coach, you become very enthusiastic about winning races and getting your name established as a coach. And of course, I went through that phase a little bit in the early years and wondered, will I ever produce a champion? Will somebody ever, reach that level of being an Olympian? And now, of course, when you get older, you get wiser, of course. And I say, I'm not so aggressive now in terms of youth performance, winning youthful races. I'm more interested now in the young people going from stage to stage, taking your time, being patient, not being over carried away by winning at a junior level and at a youth level. So I think we need to start thinking a little bit along that line as well, and challenge our younger coaches, with regard to take your time, be patient with your young people, keep them on board. Also, another thing very often is when kids are young, we do tend to push them to the limit, to the absolute limit, and very often the danger can be they go over the limit and they get frustrated, or they drop out of the sport, and sometimes we might not get our best athletes to the very top. As a coach, you need a good eye for somebody who's how close are they working to their limit, and just you have to keep them on board, keep them motivated, keep the fun element in training. Don't make it too regimental, too technical. We don't do that, in Kenya. That's our approach, So keep them on board, because when I see the number of kids around Ireland who are actually training and out there, a few nights a week doing their workouts, I see a great encouragement. I think we have a lot of underage competitions. We even talk about it, I think, in other sports as well, including the GA. A lot of young, talented people get burnout, and we lose a lot of young talents because of that, So I think we need to keep an eye on that in athletics also, because so I said we need to think a little bit more developmental than competitive in the case of our young people.
Very good.
Yeah,